Planet Dolan.
From nasty gyneecologists to teachers shitting on desks, the Planet Dolan crew reenacts some of the best true stories from our subreddit about the most unprofessional things we've ever experienced. I'm Hellbent, and today I'll be your narrator. Number 10 was submitted by iBaconbird. The most unprofessional person that Doopy ever experienced was a gynecologist. She was experiencing some lady problems, so she made an appointment. The doctor didn't even bother with an examination, and even though Doopy was a perfectly healthy weight for a 14-year-old, the gynecologist told her that she was so fat that she should go live on a deserted island where there was no food so she could starve herself. He was completely serious and said that it would fix all of her problems. That's some pretty extreme advice for a vagina doctor. Who knows how many other patients he's given such poor advice to? Number 9 was submitted by Killer Alice. Melissa was once in the hospital after she had a major car accident. As part of their routine emergency procedures, they had to make sure their patients were not pregnant. Melissa cooperated and was waiting for her results when she heard loud whispers coming from the next room. Suddenly, several voices were shouting, and then she heard a nurse yell, "I win the bet! The bitch isn't pregnant! Pay up!" Apparently, they thought she was pregnant because she had put on a little bit of weight and were taking bets. Number 8 was submitted by DrConspiracy. Dolan was working as a barista in a small cafe, and one day a coworker was preparing food when he stopped for a toilet break. The manager accidentally walked in on his coworker mid-shit and quickly closed the door. That was the day that his manager realized that Dolan's coworker had actually been using the same gloves to handle raw meat and wipe his ass. The staff had to quickly recall all the food prepared by his unprofessional coworker. He was fired on the spot and could have caused a ton of people to get food poisoning. Number 7 was submitted by WeeaboTrashkid. When Spinal Palm was at school, he was sitting at the office waiting to be picked up from school. The office assistants were sitting quietly doing their work. However, after about 5 minutes, one of them stood up and shouted at the other, "Fuck you, Karen, I'm quitting!" Everyone stared at her while she continued to go around to everyone in the room and shout different things at them like, "Linda, you're a fucking whore! And if you had my breast, Susan, maybe you'd still have a husband!" When she turned to Spinal Palm, she realized he was a student and that she had messed up big time. Her face went red and she walked silently out of the room. Number 6 was submitted by IndiaSand. When Zaragamba was 15 years old, he decided to go bungee jumping. His friends went bungee jumping all the time and assured him that it was totally safe. He was pretty nervous, but went ahead with it anyway. But when it came to his turn, Zaragamba wasn't checked for the safety protocols properly, and when he finally jumped, the rope disconnected and he plummeted straight into the water below. Luckily, he survived, and the bungee company got into a huge amount of trouble for endangering his life. Number 5 was submitted by Wildcat Crazy. When Gooby was in primary school, she had a choir teacher who felt the need to constantly upstage the children by giving herself the main singing role in the children's pageant. To make it worse, she couldn't even sing. She would sing completely out of key at such a high volume that it drowned out the children's voices. During one pageant, she completely butchered the Circle of Life from The Lion King by changing the lyrics to dedicate the song to America. She just started singing random songs about the USA. Meanwhile, Gooby stood outside until she could leave because her loud and obnoxious voice was giving her a headache. Number 4 was submitted by walrusberries. Pandora worked at a fruit and nut shop once, and she was a really hard-working employee. It was a great job, but the shop was full of cockroaches and moths, and there had been times when she found maggots in the snack packs. At the time, she had her nose pierced, and one day her boss came in from nowhere and told her to go outside. He took her aside and told her that her piercing was absolutely disgusting and how dare she do that in his shop. He completely ignored her cockroach comments. She was crying, but he didn't care. He told her to go out and do some free sampling. Pandora had to go outside and offer people free chestnuts while bawling her eyes out. Number 3 was submitted by Hello World 09876. When Ladybot was 9 years old, she had to go to the dentist. The dentist spent some time examining her mouth and then sat back in her chair. "All of your teeth are perfectly fine," she said to Ladybot. Suddenly, another dentist burst into the room and shouted, "Just say your teeth are bad! I need the money!" Apparently, it had been a very quiet day at the dental surgery and the dentists were getting desperate. Ladybot left the surgery with her perfectly fine teeth and a pocket full of money that she didn't give to the greedy dentist.
Number 2 was submitted by LoneLuciferLolita. Alright, now back to Hellbent.
The most unprofessional thing Nixiom has ever experienced happened when he was in the 7th grade. His social studies class consisted of the most misbehaving students in the school. One day, while his class was causing mischief and screaming at each other as per usual, Nixiom was working on a project that was due the following week. Suddenly, he saw his teacher stand straight up, not saying a word, shaking with rage. The teacher looked down at his computer, then proceeded to grab the PC and throw it straight through the window, shattering the glass. He then got up on the table, took a massive shit on the desk before yelling, "Good riddance, you little shit biscuits!" and then he jumped out of the window and was never seen again. What's the most unprofessional thing I've ever experienced? Once when visiting a bar, I noticed the bartender was a little bit tipsy. There were a group of customers constantly demanding her to take a shot with us. "Come on, it's party time. Let's have a drink." So she had one and another and another and another and another and another. Within no time, she got blackout drunk and passed out behind the bar. Now, if you think the generous folks offering her shots would have helped her up, you'd be dead wrong. They took as many bottles of liquor as they could off the shelves and hightailed it out of there. And if you thought the other customers would help her out, you'd also be wrong. They also started taking bottles and running away. When the police arrived, the entire place was picked clean and they took the bartender to jail. What's the moral of this story? I don't have one. I don't think anybody learned a damn thing. Huge thanks for the folks over on our Planet Dolan subreddit for submitting their stories. We have another question for you. What's the simplest thing you've ever failed at? Let us know on the Reddit page linked below and you might be featured in a future countdown. That's all I got for now. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time. Number 7 was submitted by Weeaboo. Melissa cooperated and was waiting for her results when that she should go live on a deserted island where there was